any direction. So, be paranoid. If you see something, shoot something. There's gonna be a ton of eggs in here. Body on the deck. Corporal Delahaye.
Grabbing ammo.
Grab our tags. Descansen paz. Still two out there. Dino drone! Clear. Keep moving.
Patching up.
Rearming.
Patching up. 8 kids here.
Patching up.
8 kids here.
Door's welded. Cut it.
I'll cut it.
We know Blue Fire Team went this way.
Strong signals from below.
Support station ready.
door before more wake up.
Yo, you're over here.
Squawk your PDT. Gotta be kidding! Clear. S, you got anything?
Katanga's critical systems are on the lower decks. If the blue fire team continued to pursue their objective, they would have laid below.
Prowler. Look at this.
Will they burn a hole at the bottom of the hull?
Unlikely. Hive resin is acid resistant.
More Xenos!
Station ready.
Got a drone creeping on you!
Rearm.
Grabbing ammo.
walks. Keep on them.
Is active. Please patch me in.
Grabbing ammo. Get eyes on this. Sentry deployed. Rearm. Lines up. Grabbing ammo.
Accessing. Stand by.
Station ready.
Lines up.
Rearming.
Apparatus hack!
Sentry deployed.
complete. Blue team used this console to disable the capacitor safeties.
They're still in the fight. They'd be headed to the core lift next.
Patching up. 8 kids here.
Grabbing ammo. Rearmed.
Another way!
Use an 8 kit.
Blue fire team, are you out there?
Grabbing ammo. 8 kits here. Patching up.
One door's welded. Blue team went that way. Cut it.
I'll cut it.
Ambush! Close. Blue team, sing it. Lena, we hear you. We're close.
Watch it. Patching up.
Copy! I've now received it. One clamp. Logic. Let him blood!
Hang on, Molina. We're coming. Private Brzezinski. Dios te guarde. Molina's club.
They're coming!
Step it up, fire team.
Patching up. Watch it. Patching up.
I have a return on the final PDT. It is in that room.
Patching up. Rearmed. 8 kits here. Grabbing ammo. 8 kits here.
Lance Corporal Molina.
You were so close. One fucking hallway.
Mine out.
Deployed. Getting ready.
Eyes, top side!
Lines out.
¡Vámonos! ¡Desiertos al infierno!
Watch it!
They called in a Praetorian!
Lines out.
Clear! That's enough.
Hoorah, asshole!
Patching up.
It's on, fire team!
Grabbing ammo. Sentry deployed.
Another Praetorian!
Lines out. Lines out.
Grabbing ammo. 8 kits here.
Rearming.
Fire team, we got updated orders. With blue team down, we're taking over point on this op. You're going to scuttle this fucking shitbox. Put the core in an override loop. That means going all the way to the bottom, the heart of the nest.
this video.
No, Herrera, I'm not going to do a barrel roll. Go check the feeds or something.
A portion of this video was sponsored by Salesforce. This is the biggest, most in-depth video about bowling ever. How bowling balls are made, the best way to throw them, maximize strikes, how the lanes are oiled, what it takes to be a pro, and how this sport has continually been reinvented for literally thousands of years up to the present day. This is the science of bowling, the most popular participatory sport in the United States.
I'm super impressed with how that went. I'm even more impressed than you are.
What is inside a bowling ball? Well, I sent this ball to Creative Electron to get a 3D X-ray scan, and this is the result. What is that? I always expected bowling balls to be, perfect solid spheres, but there's something inside here, and it's not symmetric, and it's not even centered in the ball. So I went to Storm Bowling, one of only 11 bowling ball manufacturers in the world, to find out how bowling balls are made.
Yeah, basically when we make bowling balls, we always start in the center, and the center part of the bowling ball is the weight block. And as you can see, this is an example of an asymmetrical shape weight block. So it's actually a different shape about the X, the Y, and the Z axes.
The weight blocks are embedded in a core of lightweight glass beads.
Oh, that is so silky soft. I feel like I have not felt anything this soft.
What's the difference in density between this sort of filler material and this core?
It's quite a bit, about 2.5 to 3 times more dense in the inner weight block than it is in the core material.
If you were to look, for example, at this actual core, number one, it says 960, which means that it weighs 9.60 pounds. And then the description here underneath, which is a 03, this indicates what type of a weight block is inside of it.
What happens over here?
So this area right here is our urethane area. So basically what we have are a number of different tanks that are set up. So there's a chemical reaction that occurs once it actually fills the mold, and we pour that cover stock material around the core. It gets extremely hot in just a matter of minutes. If you go right down here, she's actually pouring the pin material inside the tops of those
Guys, the mind-bending hook.
Right?
Yeah, that's how you have to sell your stuff. I get it.
Exactly, yeah.
But how did it come to be this way? Well, bowling seems to be an ancient game. Archaeologists have found wall drawings of a sport that looks like bowling in an ancient Egyptian tomb dating back 7,000 years. In Germany, bowling was used as a religious ritual. Pins represented your sins, so you're a good Christian if you could knock them all down. Martin Luther himself was apparently a bowling fanatic and fixed the number of pins at 9. When the game made its way over to America, 9-pin bowling was banned because it promoted gambling. The legend goes that people cleverly came up with 10-pin bowling to get around the law. Whoa, totally different game. Today in the US, 9-pin bowling is only played in Texas because it was the one state that didn't ban it, instead charging a tax. Bowling lanes are about 3.5 feet wide and 60 feet long down to the head pin. I'm using imperial units here because that's actually how they're defined. The lane is made of 39 narrow boards that bowlers number for reference. They used to be made of maple and pine wood, but these days most lanes are synthetic and made of fine particles coated with melamine resin. One game of bowling gives you 10 frames with 2 throws per frame to try to knock down all 10 pins. The highest score you can get in a game without a strike is only 190. But strikes allow you to double count your next 2 throws, so a perfect game with all strikes gives you a score of 300. If you're anything like me, the whole game is just trying to throw the ball as straight as you can down the middle of the lane, hit the head pin, and try to take as many other pins down with it as possible.
Do you want to give me any tips? Or I've watched LeBron bowl. You won't be worse than him.
You say that now.
See, that's what I would normally do. And I would normally be like reasonably happy with a shot like that.
But for pro bowlers like Pete Weber or Chris Barnes,
A perfect game.
the game is different. And not just because they are way better than me.
Who do you think you are? I am! Get it right!
Hitting the head pin square on is not the perfect strategy. If you hit the head pin square on going straight, you're unlikely to knock down all the pins. You could end up with a split where the ball goes through the middle, or with the ball deflecting off to one side after hitting the head pin. Chances for a strike are much higher if the center of the ball hits the pins just to one side of the head pin, board 17 and a half. In which case, the ball takes out the 1, 3, 5, and 9 pins, which take out the others.
So we want the ball to hit the 1 pin, the 3, the pin behind the 1, which is the 5 pin, and then the 9 or the 8 and the 9.
You want the ball to hit all of those pins.
Yeah.
Now the pins don't always fall this way, but the pin shape helps. Pins roll in circles like eggs, which help knock down the others.
7 pins! Yeah, that's right, baby! Come on, don't miss! You wanted it, you got it!
But to have an over 90% chance of getting a strike, the center of the ball has to hit with an error smaller than half a board. Needless to say, throwing a ball 60 feet straight at a target smaller than a dime is a tough task, especially to do it consistently. Luckily, there is a better way.
Now, if we look at the pins, and as you look at them from here, from straight on, the spot between the head pin, the one that's in the center, and the 3 pin, which is just right of that gap's pretty narrow. But as the ball hooks more, now we basically shift over, and now that space is considerably wider.
If you can hit the pins not head on, but at an angle of 6 degrees, you dramatically increase your chances of knocking them all down. Now the margin for error is greater. The ball can be coming in anywhere from board 17 to 18 and a half. That is a board and a half of room, and that still gives you greater than a 90% chance of a strike. Now 6 degrees may not sound like a lot, but it's actually extremely difficult to hit. The problem is, if you wanted to throw the ball straight at the pins and hit them at 6 degrees, you would have to be bowling from 3/4 over on the next lane. And that is impossible, what with the 2 gutters in between and all. So the solution is, you've got to curve the ball on 1 lane.
I feel like I have never spun a ball. Is that is that hard?
So if you got it under your can, the ball's underneath, and you're trying to spin it,
Yep.
that's basically the motion that players use these days.
This really became a big part of the sport by accident.
The wood gets beat up with the damage from all the balls going into it. And so they basically created slip agents, lubricants, much like oil in a car, so that the lanes didn't get damaged so quickly.
So the original idea was to protect the wood.
The original idea was just to protect the surface of the lane. It was not to manufacture anything from a competitive scoring type environment.
But applying oil to protect the wood meant that balls no longer gripped the lane and rolled without slipping down to the pins. Instead, they could skid, rotating not in their direction of travel. Now, I've been to a lot of bowling alleys before making this video, and I noticed it was a bit greasy, but I always thought that was just the nature of bowling alleys, like the stinky rental shoes. I didn't know they intentionally put oil on the lanes. Vox has a great video specifically about oil patterns. These days, there are machines specifically for applying oil to the lanes.
And then as proprietors went, well, yeah, it does make the ball skid. Well, if I put more in the middle than the outside, well, my bowlers bowl a little bit better and they're happier. And then as technology advances, like everything does, now we have $30,000 lane machines that can put a specific amount of oil on each board.
They work kind of like dot matrix printers. They can lay the oil on with varying degrees of thickness across the lane and extend the oil pattern different distances. There are hundreds of different patterns that can be used. Usually, the oil extends about 2/3 the way down the lane, so to around 40 or 45 feet. But there's always a dry patch of wood.
Mệt lắm. Rồi vào à? Rồi dậy à? Nè nè. Trời ơi. Nghe cha. Đang ngồi nghe nhạc. Hay cầm biểu. View. Ờ. Thế thì chắc có gì mới không? Thấy thông tin thì nói. Mới à? To mắt bé. Phải lực. À, này nó ra Nightmare rồi à? Cái kia chưa xong rồi Nightmare trời ạ. Chắc thế. Chắc mấy cái dấu hiệu tìm khó hơn. Chơi cái đỡ chơi cái kia thì nhiệt độ là loạn rồi. Khó tìm bây giờ chắc lên Nightmare nhiệt độ chắc loạn hơn. Sau khi dinh nhiệt độ loạn thì thường là túi cuối cuối mới có. Cuối vào trách một lúc vừa ngồi nói chuyện với trách ấy, may ra mới có. À, IMF thế, IMF thì chắc cũng gần giữa cuối thì nó mới lòi ra. Hai thằng vào thì ít lắm, hai thằng vào khó tìm. Tiên là phải chơi được cái map bè to to kia trước kìa, map trường học kia chơi cho xong đã kìa. Nhưng mà trước may ra mới tìm được cái phòng đấy, gần cuối mới tìm được. Mà cũng lúc đấy tìm như trả lời cũng sai mà khó vậy. Xong lại cập biểu. Hả? Đắt quá, mua không nổi. Ra đâu mà lại ra dốc. Cái này bình thường. Lại sau này nhìn có vẻ ok. Và bình thường mà mời quyền thì trước giờ vẫn thế mà.